GM based heads, what a big week it has been in Trashland. My name is Gerry and welcome to another Based Space, a place for the Based Heads community to come together and discuss all the happenings from Based AF, Web3 and the broader metaverse. Today I'm joined by several amazing community members, but before I introduce them, if you're new here and you're wondering what Based AF is, well, let me tell you. Based AF is a content creation studio pushing the limits of human experience and expression by exploring emerging technologies such as augmented reality, artificial intelligence, Web3 technology, and of course, virtual reality, producing viral and entertaining content to rival the likes of Mr. Beast. Think of it like MTV, but for the metaverse. And it's powered by the BasedHeads, a set of digital collectibles with untold powers, your virtual backstage pass, where you can star in the action, help shape the narrative, and even share in the spoils. So joining me today are some of our awesome Based AF Discord mods, who are all content creators in their own right. We've got Hashith, the Degen, the lovely Michelle Staten, the digital nomad and crazy based head that is Aurora. Hopefully she can join us as well. And we've got Auli, our favorite Spaniard in all the metaverse. But on top of that, we are joined by a special guest. We have Christina Kinner, also known as XaosPrincess, a true pioneer in virtual reality and the metaverse. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Michelle, can you give a quick rundown on what we can expect today?
Yeah, sure. First, we keep an open forum. We like to invite anyone who would like to speak or ask questions to come up and speak with us. We like to keep it about 2 minutes, give everyone a chance to speak. And we hope you have a great day. It's an exciting day today. Gerry, we reached a lot of our milestones. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a massive week since the last space that we held. So I'll do a quick rundown on everything that's gone down just to give everyone an update. So the Metaverse dating show, that dropped, and about 99% of that was done from Tom Letts and Dan Flynn as a proof of concept as to how Based AF can function without the reliance of Robin, aka Supermassive. And it has blown the fuck up on YouTube. It's just had viral growth. We'll circle back to that one because obviously there'll be a lot to talk about there. They've also had confirmation that Luke Franks and his Welcome to the Metaverse podcast, which is 94 episodes deep, has been acquired by Based AF. And that's he's basically been running this weekly for about 2 years now. So it's pretty well established. So that's been a really nice thing for Based AF to swoop in and sort of acquire. And it's a new vertical for new content. So they're currently working out what format the podcast is going to now take, because I think it was just an audio podcast previously, but obviously being a YouTube channel, a lot of people want to consume videos. So I'm guessing they're going to try and set up some sort of set for that, whether that's a physical one or a virtual one where they can beam Luke in from London and link up with Robin and whoever else they're interviewing. So that'll be fun to see. By the way, they did have a Twitter space. Robin hosted a Twitter space late last week as a bit of a monthly update. So if you want to hear it from the man himself, go and give that a good listen. Luke's up there as well, and so is Tom. So some pretty good banter was had. Next up, the Phantom Foundation. They've committed to partially funding the remaining tentpole pieces for the year, which are the big quarterly videos the team are working on. So that's huge news because it gives great validation for the channel to have such a prominent sponsor, and allows them to ask other potential partners for similar commitments moving forward. So that's really important, especially at this early stage. The other bit of news is that I'll actually be starting to report community level news and updates soon as a new character within Trashland. So starting sometime probably in April, once they've built out some VR models and a virtual set for me, I'll be producing some base content from within Trashland. So that should be really fun to explore and enjoy. The team has had several valuable discussions with projects at NFT Paris when they were in Paris a few weeks ago. So that sounds encouraging. And the VRM, the models pipeline, is being pushed towards the top of the priority list with a yet to be announced partner that they're trying to get a working relationship happening with. Robin mentioned that they'd explored a few options, and some of them were just ridiculously expensive and time consuming. Like one of the quotes was, it was going to take 6 months and cost $250,000 to create the VR models for all the base heads. So clearly that one's not going to happen. But they think they've found a better solution anyway that has basically been building for about 9 years and has already got 6,000 different gaming avatars in their sort of portfolio, which is kind of nuts. So if you do a bit of research, you might be able to work out who that partner could be, but it's not announced yet. Nothing's confirmed. A key focus with the VR models is to make like ease of use for us as BasedHeads holders. So stuff just works depending on whatever environment you're in, to make it super simple. And hopefully we'll be starting to use a platform like Hallway. So check out Hallway if you're not familiar with them, but basically you can start creating content as your BasedHead avatar with just a simple webcam. That's not fully released to the public yet, so there's a beta going on with them at the moment. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Next up was the Dildo Dash game. So that's all but complete. And I actually kind of had an impromptu tour with Curb last night, running around in there with him for about an hour, just chatting about all things BasedAF. And I got to say, it's super immersive, the environment that they've set up using the Metaverse platform. It's really, really cool. So I can't wait for that to go live, but they're actually waiting on a key bit of tech from the Metaverse guys to be rolled out to make it a bit harder to cheat and to bot it. So that's obviously important with any game that's got an incentive involved. So it's all ready to go. It looks amazing. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. And I'm kind of can't wait to see the broader Web3 reaction to it. Hopefully it starts to get on people's radars that this isn't just some low effort thing, because they have put a lot of effort in it, and it's really cool. Next up, they've signed a lease for a more permanent space for the mocap studio. So that's going to provide a big efficiency gain for the team. They won't all be in the one physical space, but that means that they'll have focus groups in each area and they won't have to tear things down all the time. That was a big delay early on, having to pull apart their mocap studio, do the Metaverse Marathon, and then reassemble everything. So obviously they're expanding, so that's great. Hopefully if this blows up, this might happen every 6 months. They get a bigger and a larger space to just keep building stuff out and be more efficient. So the last bit of thing I wanted to mention was they're looking at a regular Tuesday time slot now going forward. Now, whether that happens next week or not, we're not sure, but they're going to have extra content within the week that's probably being done by other members of the team, I'm guessing. Or maybe it's freeing Robin up so he doesn't have to do the big stuff on the Thursday so frequently. But that's going to be largely focused around AI by the sounds. So again, huge update. That's everything that's just come to light in the last sort of week. So they're building like crazy at the moment, and yeah, it's good to see what's happening.
Yeah, that's super exciting. And all of the crazy movement we've had with reaching 11.8 thousand subscribers. And the most recent video, it's at 68,000 views. So it went a little bit viral, which is super exciting. And even some of the older videos are starting to kick up a little bit more views. We've got 11,000 views on the marathon video. And our This Is BasedAF intro is at 7.3 thousand views too. So some movement's happening. All that persistence and determination has paid off.
It's just super encouraging. Hey, I don't think anyone was really expecting it to just take off like it had. I mean, obviously a lot of us were probably a little underwhelmed with the traction we were getting early, but it's just, I guess that just goes to show you how viral things can get on a platform like YouTube. Once you get a few people following your content who have certain likes and interests, it starts pushing that content out to similar users on the platform. And obviously the dating thing, hit some product market fit there and it's just taken off. So super excited and super stoked for the team. It must be huge validation for them and they must be buzzing right now. I can imagine what the office is like when they all woke up yesterday morning and had a look at the stats. Must have been crazy.
Oh yeah, we were sitting there. We were hoping at one point, because I was in the Discord, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna reach 10,000 views on the video," and then it hit that, and then we were waiting for them to wake up, and then it got to like 17 or 18,000, and then they woke up, and then went to bed again, and woke up, and we had over 10,000 subscribers. We went from like 4,000 subscribers to now 11,000. So
yeah,
that was pretty wild.
I was actually away for the weekend, so I was off grid for like 3 days. And when I left, I think we were at like 1,900 subs. And when I came back, I think it was at maybe 3,000 or 4,000. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And then in the next sort of 12 hours, it just exploded. It's crazy.
Yeah, it went so fast. Yeah, we can't even keep up with it. having to keep refreshing the screen. It was pretty wild.
So what did you guys actually think of the video content itself?
I thought it was amusing. I thought it was great. I mean, I like the fact that we brought in, community members to interact, and it was really cool. It was really cool to see other people on screen and how they played with that, all the little Easter eggs and fun things.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Auli? What did you think of the video? Did you get to watch it yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it a few times, and it's just incredible to see how the team has kind of managed to turn like a basic / very dumb idea into a very, very, very cool video, and all the storytelling they've implemented into it. And also it's been quite surprising, like the traction it's gotten and the attention it's gotten. And Supermassive is not even on the video. He just like appears there for like 10 seconds maybe. So that's crazy. And I know Supermassive mentioned it in the Discord, like one of the lead BCs, he was very surprised, and he, especially told him that he was super surprised to see all the traction and everything in the video despite him not being in there. So that's also a very good validation there. And yeah, I'm super excited for the next couple of videos, and obviously this week's video is also gonna be very good for sure as well. So yeah, super excited in general, and it's been great to see all the traction in the past few days.
Yeah, it's been awesome. You mentioned, Auli, that it looks like maybe this week's content, the big piece on Thursday, might be AI focused and maybe even around deep fakes and whatnot. Do you know much about that or have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that one, and especially AI. We obviously it's part of our daily lives, and we're all on ChatGPT. So I'm super excited to see what the team has managed to do there, and I'm sure it's gonna be a good story as well. So yeah, super excited for it. I think it's gonna be around like AI and basically like maybe explaining like some of the deep fakes and everything that is going on, and kind of like little experiments. So I think it's gonna be a cool video.
Yeah, he's done a few deepfake videos in the past for the Defiant. Even like a couple of years back, he did a pretty impressive one around basically making Vitalik Buterin look like Justin Bieber. And it's really cool. Very impressive video. Try and find it if you can. I think it might even predate the Defiant channel. It might only be on the Harmony one, but it's actually amazing to watch. And that was over 2 full years ago now. So it's going to be scary to see what they can do today, and maybe you can just do everything a lot quicker. I know that video took him 5 months to make, sort of on and off. You could probably do that in 5 days or 5 hours these days with the way the technology's improved. So it's pretty crazy and a little scary, to be honest. Like, how much fake news we're going to have coming our way over the next couple of years. Just with some of the voice AI, the video AI, it's already pretty scary as it is.
Yeah, it's in case you guys didn't see, ChatGPT 4 was released a bit ago. And apparently you can show it an image, you can insert images, and then not only does it recognize the image, it can look at it and you can say, write a funny article about this image, like why this image might be funny.
Wow. So integrating all these different sort of methodologies into one platform, is it? It's not just an image thing by the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's going to be...
No, I mean, go ahead.
That's going to be a great use case for VR, because you can not only use like speech to text I have like a GPT-3 driven chatbot in social VR. And so our challenge always was, how do I make it realize its environment? Do we invite some other AI to it? With this GPT-4 function, you can actually have the chatbot realize how the user avatar looks like, and that's very important to folks. And then you can have it like react to, oh, I love your nice green hat, it looks like my hat, or whatsoever, or can have it react to gestures. And this is like limitless possibilities.
That's amazing.
Sounds so cool. I had a look at your quantum bar, XaosPrincess, and it's pretty impressive. Check out the website linked on XaosPrincess's profile, and you can actually see that she's got a video chatting to her barman, asking him questions in real time and getting answers back. And how long ago was that made, that quantum bar?
I got academic access in 2020. It was like my Master of Arts project, so I was lucky.
Cool.
But like the final launch, so to say, was on VR days in end of November last year, and that's when I did like all the videos. And on Friday, I think that's March 31st, like Friday in 2 weeks, we're gonna have like a friends and family evening, and you're all invited. Like if you have PC VR equipment, join us on Neos VR between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. CET. That's starting, I think, at 1 p.m. Pacific Daytime on Friday.
Fantastic. Do you have a link to that? You could pin to this chat just so people can get that on their radars. That sounds interesting.
Not yet, but I can write it in the comments. I'm still working on the
announcement. No worries.
Yes, please. That's exciting. Thank you for the invite.
So you've been working.
Share your pin tweet.
Cool. So you've been working in VR for quite some time, then, Christina. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's your experience been like?
That was actually like my entry point to the metaverse was social VR, or closer defined high fidelity, in 2016. And I started off as a content creator, creating one of the first NFTs ever when we never even knew the term yet. But unfortunately then high fidelity pivoted to audio only. Then I was a community manager on the fork Tivoli Cloud VR, and then they closed Drop 2 because they were too annoyed of all that metaverse hype, like that sharded the community a lot. And then I was like focusing mainly on the quantum bar, and now I'm like so stoked to like find communities again in like more the Web3 space of the metaverse. So in this sense, thanks a million once again for having me.
Oh, not at all. We were pretty excited to get you on, especially after you were running around in the metaverse with Robin during the marathon. I remember he pointed you out in your striking blue outfit at the time, and it's just really cool that you've been so early to this. And I mean, if you've been doing stuff since 2016, like that's insane. That is really early.
Yeah, it saved my social life. I had like 2 little kids then who were toddlers. Like, so my real life social life was like full stop. And then I got just like going out, staying in is what I call it. And I'd love to see like maybe we can do that with Robin more often, like to have like a get together on VR chat or Neos VR and stream it and just like give social VR folks the opportunity to intermingle.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
I think that sort of thing, there's a good chance that's going to happen organically over time, especially as all the infrastructure around the BasedHeads just gets built out further. And like, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I had a session with Curb running around in Dildo Dash, and it's kind of the closest thing I've ever had to a virtual reality experience, because I've never used VR. I've never owned a VR headset, but even just running around with him and then just having the audio, you know, I haven't played video games in over 10 years. Same sort of thing. Had kids, you just get busy with life. And it's like, oh, I'm actually having a social connection here with someone. And so that sort of part of it is starting to make a bit more sense to me now, which sounds strange, given I'm trying to create a metaverse focused YouTube channel. But for me, it's been more on the Web3, the NFT community based side, and not so much the VR shared experience side. So it's really nice to see those two worlds slowly merging towards each other and together. That's why I think the BasedHeads is going to do good things.
I'm excited you finally got to try it.
But yeah, that wasn't even in VR. That was just through the browser. So I haven't quite made that leap just yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think the secret sauce, of course, VR is like the king's class, but the secret sauce is that you can like orientate yourself spatially. So you can like also like in desktop mode, you can walk up to a group of people and still like watch the birthday cake in the background. And when they all start to sing, you can go back to the main event. You have the possibility to divide your attention, and that's a great thing, which is not as easy in text chat or audio only chat.
Yeah, I really noticed that when I went, because when the lockdown happened, I'm part of Burning Man, and they kicked up the BRC VR. And that was one of their big selling points, is they had that like spatial chat that was like right when it started to become more mainstream. And it really makes a huge difference when you can go up to somebody and have that proximity chat with them.
Yeah, and
it's just like walking up in the club.
Yeah, and it allowed for like the same serendipity as the real thing. Like with Burning Man, I've been there and it's the same. You go like, oh, that rainbow colored fish looks beautiful. And then you meet folks who also like the rainbow colored fish. And so you meet like-minded folks just by going to the same artwork.
Yeah, it really did make a difference. Or you can go dance with a bunch of people that want to go dance together.
That so much saved my sanity during the lockdown. We did like 2 lockdown dance parties on High Fidelity, and we got like 70 people in some like really high ceiling club, which was like I don't know, 15 meters high, and had like this galleria. That was like so good, like getting out of that claustrophobic apartment and being able to dance with people and to hug people again, which you can actually feel in VR. Like it gives you phantom sensations. So yeah, it's the future.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, a lot of people, I had this discussion yesterday with people like, oh, all the kids need to get away from all of the technology. And, you know, like, yes, kids need to go out and enjoy themselves and get some physical activity. But like this whole world, I mean, just growing up in this world is going to be so different in 10 years that it's super cool to see where we're going to be going. And, you know, people that can't get out of their house, whether they have kids or disabilities or anything, like you can hang out with anybody in the world at any time, which is so surreal.
Yeah, it's so wonderful because you can find like these niche communities, and like if I had to find like people who are VR and into NFTs at the same time in Munich, a long search, but here it's like we just get together.
Yeah, I mean, even the crypto events here in New York City, which is, you know, a pretty wide group of people, they usually didn't have more than 50 people. But I can go online at any point and hang out with a bunch of crazy NFT people all over the world. Just like Gerry and Auli and Harshith, you know, we're at all corners of the world.
And it's also great for like team or building teams. Because for some projects you need like very specialized talent. Yeah, good luck finding that in like a 20-mile radius.
Oh yeah, and they're in the Netherlands, so you know it's not a huge metropolitan super. I mean, it's a big area, but it's still got to be tough. It's hard to find people like that in New York, so. It's cool.
They do seem to have hired people, not just within the Netherlands. So that's kind of, you know, exactly your point, is that especially in Web3, like it really is a global community. And I know some of the guys like Curb, I think he's based in England. He's working with 2 other guys also in England. There's Luke in London. And obviously the mods, everyone's spread all over the place. So obviously you need different time zones for that job. But it does go to show that, I guess, like you said, a VR meeting sort of makes sense. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to meet all these people so easily, especially, I guess the time zone is the challenge. But, if you move it around and make sure at least someone's out of bed at any given moment, you might be able to actually have a bit more of an interaction with them. And, Twitter Spaces is so prevalent in Web3. It's kind of the glue that holds everything together in Web3 at a community layer. I guess it's only a matter of time before those experiences become more immersive, whether that's on something within Twitter itself that they build out or, other platforms that are hopefully more open.
So I think the time zones maybe are also a great chance, because now you can organize teams based on their personal biorhythm. So I'm a total night owl, and also the good side effect is that the kids are asleep at night. And my coworker, he's from Spain. He's a night owl too. Then we had 2 North Americans on the team, and one poor guy from Finland, and he was forward because our meetings would start at 2 p.m. Pacific, and he was like, that's midnight my time. but thinking that forward, that could be, you could have an international team, and you just sort them. Are you a 9-to-5 person, or are you rather a 6 to 6 at night vampire? So
that's me.
I don't think you sleep at all. You don't sleep at all, do you, Michelle? From what I can gather.
I sleep really weird times. I'm up pretty late, and then I wake up really early, and I sleep kind of in the middle sometimes. But my old team was in California, so at noon, that's when they were just waking up. So that's about when I would wake up. It worked out pretty good. I like being able to be up at weird times. That's when all the activity's happening on Web3. It's pretty good. It's nice too, because we actually have, even in our team, not our team members, but our server members and all of our BasedHeads, they're all over the world as well. So there's usually always something going on, or someone in there talking in Discord, which is pretty cool. It's a place to find some respite and talk to some cool people. I'm a little partial, but I love our BasedHeads.
There's definitely a good spread of people commenting at all hours. Like some of the other Discords I'm in, it's really obvious when everyone goes to bed, and it's okay, 95% of the people are from a particular time zone. I don't find that with BasedAF. Every time I come in, I'm like, okay, I've got quite a bit to catch up on each morning as to what's happened overnight. But it gets just as busy in my time zone as it is overnight, it seems, for me.
Yeah. There's very few Discords that are like that I've run across.
I was just going to ask, is anyone in the crowd that wants to come up onto the stage and join us? And I'd love to hear your thoughts about the most recent video and the viral stuff that's happened since, and what your thoughts on just VR in general. One of the reasons I titled this space "The Human Experience with Emerging Tech" is that Robin, in the last Twitter space that he did last week, he kind of indicated that this is evolving, and we're sort of moving past just using the metaverse label for stuff, because it doesn't mean much to many people, and has been co-opted by Zuck and Facebook, and that has sort of tarred and feathered it a bit. But really, what we're at the moment is just that human experience with emerging technology. That's where the story is. Everyone's reporting about the technology itself, but they're overlooking the human experience and what that means for us, and how we connect and how we use this tech. So it's a really interesting time, and I think you'll find that the scope for BasedAF's content is possibly going to broaden, and it's going to follow some of these exciting trends like augmented reality and artificial intelligence. So if anyone from the crowd has any thoughts, feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring you up on stage.
Yeah, I was surprised that Facebook actually rebranded back to Facebook from Meta. I think it's good for the space, though.
Oh, did they do that? I didn't hear that. They've actually dropped the Meta label, have they, entirely?
I saw a headline. I haven't really dug into it. I read some brief headlines about it when you mentioned it yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that Instagram had cut NFTs, but I hadn't really read up on it either. So that's pretty huge news if they've actually dropped the Meta name and gone back to Facebook. Like that's a huge admission that
Really?
whatever they were doing wasn't working.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had not seen that. I had seen the Instagram stuff, but not the rebranding. That's crazy. Whoa.
Let me see. I'm gonna check it right now.
That didn't last long. You know, they
he just laid off
1 year ago.
He laid off 10,000 employees. That dropped an hour ago. So, man, geez, who knows? Like, obviously, this $10 billion has got him nowhere, which kind of makes us at a really interesting crossroads, because I know when they rebranded to Meta, like that's all anyone was talking about. All the the so-called metaverse crypto tokens just exploded, became a little bit of a bubble in a way, and geez, tell you what, the air's come back out of that bubble pretty quick. So in some ways, I think it's a good thing, because personally, I don't want one company to own what the metaverse becomes. It's all about keeping stuff open and interoperable, and putting power back into the hands of the users, really, which is the whole ethos of crypto and Web3.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I honestly, these big companies coming into Web3, I don't think they really understand what it is and how it's evolving, how the technology's evolving. They're just trying to get in and get their cash grab and make sure they don't lose market share. So I don't think that they're very well suited to this new ethos of, users owning their data, users owning their in-game items, and all of those little nuances that are very, very different than it's like very contrary to their business model of selling data and making us the product versus the customer. So I'm happy with it. I think it's great. And to be fair, I do not see the actual rebranding notice back. So I misspoke.
That's all good. It's still a huge admission that things weren't working for them, and I guess it's a massive macroeconomic crunch for most businesses at the moment. So it does make sense that they've got to protect their bottom line. But I don't know. It just feels like Facebook it's just a dinosaur at this point. I don't see how it really kind of evolves to stay relevant over time. I mean, any of you guys using Facebook on the daily? I'm certainly not.
No, I haven't logged into my Facebook account in months.
It's literally only because some of my family members, especially my parents, still use it, but even they're not using it as much, I don't think.
It's like conspiracy theories that my family's using it for, so I try to stay away from it so I don't even have to interact.
Looks like we've got a request in the crowd here. Someone's requested. Sorry. Sunny Delight, I'll just approve you, and hopefully you can come and join us. Before I continue, a quick word from our sponsors that make the show possible.
Introducing Fraz Cola, the world's premier beer-flavored beverage.
It's Fraz Delicious, highly nutritious with a top-secret recipe that's so delicious.
Nothing beats the buzz of a cool Fraz Cola. What are you waiting for?
We're getting Fraz to the NAS.
Consume at your own risk. Symptoms may include and death.
I'm really afraid of Zuckerberg using VR. And it's actually that when you sign up to the Quest, you sign in the TOS that if your experience gets flagged for whatever reasons, the admins can watch the last half hour of your experience in VR, and with the outside cameras, the Quest has for the outside in tracking, they can also watch what you have in your living room, like your naked husband and your Anakin flag and whatsoever. And then they go like in one of the first paragraphs, like we anonymize all user data, and then but like 50 pages later, they have this paragraph which is. But you allow our AI to do pattern recognition and like resort the users again. And I don't care if I'm ranked as XaosPrincess or if I'm ranked at user ID 1560. But if somebody can track, and then comes on top like this real name policy, if somebody can track my inward VR activities back to my real life name, and link that to my address, like, wow, hell's get loose.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, all that's already linked. Like that's what you don't even see. It's so. I have some friends that are deep into IT and security and stuff, and like what they pull and what they sell is it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Like they can know like what kind of ice cream you like, and they interpolate stuff, right? Like it's not even just, oh, she clicked on this and so this is what she likes, or she watched this many videos and this is what she likes. They just like, oh, well, a lot of users that are like her like this other thing, so she likes this too. And it's disturbing. And
even more so with like eye tracking. It's like by pupil analysis. Doctors, neurologists can like determine mental illnesses or addiction issues or how much sleep you have, like stuff you don't even know about yourself, let alone wanting Facebook to know and sell it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it was funny because I actually, well, my Facebook algorithm is kind of weird because I think it thinks I'm a doctor and or a supervillain, because I get like hire bodyguards. And then one time I got a bone saw advertisement. I was like, what does this thing think about me? Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I will say one interesting thing, TikTok's algorithm is ridiculously advanced. I actually found out I was autistic through TikTok. Like I knew I had ADD, but then it kept like, oh, you might be this. And it kept throwing these autism videos at me. I was like, oh my God, I have autism.
That's amazing.
I heard another lady who figured out she had an ongoing illness, a chronic illness for like 11 years. And she kept going to doctors trying to figure stuff out. And then TikTok started throwing her Lyme disease videos. Turns out she had Lyme disease this whole time.
Wow. It's kind of crazy. I mean, my experience is like getting reminded when it's my wife's birthday, when it's my anniversary, that kind of thing. But I haven't been diagnosed with anything, thankfully, just yet. So, we'll have to see. But I mean, just crazy times with technology, AI, and some of it's going to be for good, though. Obviously, it's not all inherently evil, but it's more who controls it, I guess. As to what they try to do with it. Like that's the real sort of crossroads we're at right now. So that's really interesting. Sonny, did you want to join us on stage, mate? Did you have anything you wanted to add to the conversation?
Yo, what's up, BasedHeads?
Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and it's good to have you. I'm a fan of Gerry, I'm a fan of Michelle and Auli and everybody else on here. It's going to be really interesting seeing how BasedHeads and the whole team are just going to navigate around these concerns, because if we're making content around this, right, they're going to run into that and they're going to need to speak to those things, not just the fun side of it, but also like, a lot of us are adults here too and have children, families of our own. So we care about data mining. We care about our security. So it's kind of that fine edge of like, you want efficiency, you want optimal experience, but then you also want to, know what's out there. So I don't know. No one knows the answer. I don't think anyone truly knows the answer, but we're having that conversation. That's what's important overall. But also before we get more into that, of course, I just want to say, as somebody else said in the Discord, it's been wonderful not having to hear about floor prices. The fact that we finally got, I think we're consolidating to a group of people, and it's amazing that Sixers moved from Telegram to Discord. I think that helped a lot, but also we have a lot of other authentic people in there. I think we're getting to that consolidated core that we're building up on, and that's just been wonderful. I don't know if you guys can feel the energy difference, but I can. And, I think that's going to speak volumes to what's ahead for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree.
I don't think anyone's even mentioned floor price in any of our chats. It's just, to me, it's like, it's kind of irrelevant. Like this really is like a membership pass in my mind. That's how I sort of see it. And, more power to you if you can afford a full set of 6 because there's extra benefits down the line. But floor price to me is like, you're either in or you're out. Get on the train or get off the train. I just don't get the whole, chasing trends and just trying to flip your way up for stuff. Half the time you're beholden the bag anyway. But for me, like when I buy something, I barely ever look to sell it. If I'm really bullish on something, I might buy a few so I can sort of, lower my risk and get a return on investment and maybe even have a free carry on something. But outside of that, it just seems irrelevant. And I agree, like it does feel like we're building a really solid, committed core of people spread all over the world, but with this common interest, and we're all coming at it from different takes. Like for me, I've never used VR, but I'm here and I'm loving every minute of it, and I'm open-minded to exploring all this new stuff as it unfolds. So it's super interesting time, and yeah, I couldn't agree more, Sonny.
Well, I mean, the reality is that we do want to secure our futures for our family and all that. So that is still an important consideration. I mean, I don't want anyone to think that no one cares about people's financial security. That's what's important. There's a difference between financial security and greed, right? So when we're talking about sustainability, though, when we're talking about this space existing and surviving for the next decade or more, this is the kind of people that we need. And this is why I'm bullish, not for the money asset so much, but so much about the community and the fact that we're all going to grow, because if you look at there's other great projects out there, don't get me wrong, but I think this is the first time I felt the energy of something that's actually sustainable, and not just on a financial level, because it is a business at the end of the day, but also the fact that we are a global community. That's the best kind of decentralization. We're also going to be able to sustain and weather things better with this type of community. We're going to be able to support each other. So there's just a lot of different avenues we can go. I know I feel like I'm fire hosing it with different thoughts and ideas, but overall, I'm excited. For all the people who are new on here, like I said, I haven't been here in crypto Twitter that long, maybe over a year now, but I've seen enough to know that there's a different feel here, and please stay. Because I think you have each of you have something to contribute, and I think that's what it's about. I'm excited to see what's ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for that. We've been trying to, try to bring people in and try to even we've had a couple people come in and talk about floor price, and I think that the floor price question is almost like it's not even like a true question of floor price. It's more of a question to see. It's like they're smelling for fear from the founders or from the community, try to ruffle feathers to see if anything comes out. But floor price hasn't been, I mean, we haven't talked about floor price as a team. I barely check it. And the community has built up now to a point where, they answer the questions when people come in. It's not just relying on the mods. I mean, of course the mods are there, but it's more of a community response, which is more genuine. We have a bunch of people that believe in this, which is so refreshing.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, if you're not fully engaged, and it's super hard to be engaged with any single project, let alone multiple. So some people probably are just coming in as a bit of a vibe check, like, oh shit, I'm down bad here from the mint or whatever. Actually, I don't even think it's down from the mint, or not much. But if you bought, the local top on it, yeah, you would be down quite a bit, and you might be like, oh, okay, well, this didn't trend to 2 ETH like I hoped it was going to. Is this a dead project? I'll hop into the Discord and at least ask. So, yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's a fair point, but it's not the focus. Clearly, it's not so much about that. And to me, in a way, like the fact that the price is relatively low, I just think it's a great chance for other people to join us if they so choose down the track, and that'll help decentralize the project even further, which has got to be a positive thing.
I absolutely agree. And the community, the base that we've built, it's building, and we bring in more people that start getting excited and start feeling the energy, and we have all the different types of conversations. Like we talk about everything, and not just BasedHeads. We talk about other projects, and people can come and ask the silly questions that they might not feel comfortable asking in other Discords.
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Michelle, it's actually kind of cool that when you look at everyone that's here now, not many of us are actually rocking a BasedHead, which kind of speaks to the fact that the community is rather broad, and we all do come from other projects, but we've all come together for BasedHeads.
Yeah, I think that's healthy. I think it keeps away from the toxic wag me culture of just pumping your own bags, basically. I mean, and so many people in the community are creators. Like even some of the latest contests that are bringing out people that are making these memes. Some people have never made memes before, but now they're on fire making all sorts of crazy, beautiful memes. So it's cool that we're pushing back that creativity and empowerment back onto the community, and they're rising to the challenge.
yeah, I'm one of those first time creators, so my meme game has just started, and it's a little juvenile, but you guys definitely showing the way. No,
Your meme game is
that's the
strong.
thing. That's the thing is that it's been exciting just because I never considered myself an artist or creative, and it's definitely kind of brought that out. At least wanting to try it out, experiment, and so when you get into that and you find yourself stretching and growing, I think that's a good community. So we just gotta find ways to refine that and encourage that in others. Especially you see people kind of dabbling in it, just give them some positive feedback, and I think that will really help.
Yeah, and the tools, so, now we have that new channel for, that people can put up their tools and stuff. So when someone comes in and it's like, how do I even make a meme? It's like, oh, we have this whole thread here that we can share with you. You can see how other people have done it. And, we encourage everybody, and everyone helps everybody else. Like, I've seen so many instances where a member of the community will, step in and help others. And that's cool. I really like that. It sets a great foundation for when the new people come in. They can see the precedent that was set from the quality people that we already have. So it's super cool. Yeah. I'm really excited.
Totally. It's probably, while we're on the topic of memes, it's probably worth mentioning that now that we have exceeded 10,000 subscribers, the initial challenge to get to 10,000 subs by creating memes and tweet threads and that sort of stuff has closed. And there will be an announcement soon, I believe, as to one lucky BasedHead who will receive $10,000 prize, basically. So 10,000 USDC. So, which was actually only worth $8,800 a few days ago, funnily enough. But it's back to being worth $10,000 now. So, that's fun, and it's an example of how the community is aligned with these extra incentives. Of course, to sort of try and generate some interest and whatnot. Also on the memes, like we had the Dildo Dash game, which is not fully out yet, but I did get a sneak peek yesterday, and it was really fun seeing everyone's graffiti tagged around the place all over the walls. And I got a bit of a kick going, hey, that was my graffiti, I remember making that. That was really cool. So just doing that sort of stuff and really involving the community early, and giving them some true ownership of the environment and the spaces we're going to be running around in soon enough. I just think it's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a lot of fun, I think. And having these community, I don't know, they're not paybacks, but sharing the spoils with the community is the whole model, and we haven't really seen that before. So
I mean, cool. It's so clever the way that he's done it. And for me, it really made sense when I was sort of following his Robin, that is his podcast that he had late last year as I was building towards the original launch. And he really explained several times about trying to decouple the project from the crypto cycle, because as just about everyone in this room is probably completely wrecked right now. I mean, if you didn't take profits across the top, you're kicking yourself. But we all probably should have known better, I guess. But the thing is, this is going to get revenue from a completely different source, and it's going to generate value back to the community that's most active and involved. So the fact that it's not related to crypto, and its revenues come from real world business models, I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to highlight, I think we have like a very unique community, and obviously special because we all know like the project was very well thought out by Supermassive and the team. Like this wasn't just like a random 2021 NFT project. Like I remember talking to Supermassive at NFT parties, and he told me he had already been thinking about the idea of creating a content studio like the concept of BasedHeads for 2 years. So obviously, it's very well thought out, and like everything is very well aligned with the community. So I think in that aspect, we kind of have like a very, very unique community, as you've all been saying. And especially it's been super interesting to see how we've kind of like come together from very different communities throughout the space. Obviously, we have a lot of us, not me personally, but a lot of us came from Fluff or even CloneX because of some of the sneak peeks and the videos that were produced during the drop, and obviously the allow list and everything. But I mean, I think we're just kind of like the point is, I think we're a very, very unique community, and obviously in part because of like the foundations that Supermassive has set. But yeah, I mean, I think it's very, very cool, and I'm super excited to see how we can sort of like continue to empower creators within the community, because we have like a lot of amazing talent, and the meme and the gifts game has been super strong. It's been so fun to see, and just seeing like as for example, Sunny Delight has said, you know, he's just like the first time he's kind of like creating as like an artist or just like creating stuff. That's super cool to see, and I think I'm very excited to continue to see that. You know, I think it gives the team a lot of motivation to continue. You know, I think Supermassive says it a lot, like coming into the Discord and just seeing like new memes being created by a video that was published like 2 hours ago. It just gives him, and especially like everyone in the team, so much motivation to keep going. So yeah, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, I think once the full VRM models come out that are completely interoperable with like non-Web3 stuff, so, you know, more traditional virtual games, I think Robin's really hoping that there's a, you know, a core community that will have events around, kind of like XaosPrincess was alluding to earlier, where we just raid it and, you know, 50 baseheads just come and just fuck the place up a bit and raise some awareness for the place and have a bit of fun, and people will be just like, what the hell are these guys? And I can imagine he can use that as a content source as well to then create new YouTube videos and, you know, just keep that flywheel going basically. So it's going to be super fun to see what's happening as all that rolls out, because I know they're trying to make it interoperable and easy, where those barriers are hopefully sort of dissolve away and we just connect our wallet. It works out what base head you have, and then suddenly you're running around in, you know, in Roblox or Fortnite as a base head.
That'd be amazing. I would love to do that. Just run around all over, even Futureverse.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is going to be fun to see all these different mediums come together, and hopefully those, you know, those walled gardens start to break down over time. And I guess as we've seen with sort of Facebook retreating, maybe that someone's going to come at this at it with a different angle. I can imagine there's going to be one Web3 company that's going to be the first mover that goes, all right, we can see where this is going. Let's be the one that embraces Web3 and work out some sort of revenue model that still works for them, but basically allows people to truly own stuff and interact.
It's like,
yeah, I think that's what we've been lacking. Oh, go ahead.
Jin is already working on this with Webverse and Hyperfi.io. So Webverse is like a web-based VR client, and Hyperfi, I think, works on VR chat, and he does a lot with VRM interoperable avatars. And then on the other hand, you have Somnium Space, which is like, blockchain-based virtual world, which also allows for bubble worlds, which you can visit and where you can buy parcels and where you can also avatar. But they're a bit more corporate driven, like a bit more still centralized. But I think Jin's approach with Webverse is really powerful.
Yeah, a few days ago, I think it was like 2 days ago, I saw some CloneMax avatars as VRMs on Cyber. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like the immersive platform on Cyber, and I think they partnered with, like, they've been using Hyperfi. Yeah, I think that's the one you mentioned.
On Cyber, I'm gonna write that down. Thank you so much.
Yeah, on Cyber, it's quite cool. I mean, I got introduced through Artifact because they have like some like custom spaces there, and it's super cool. Bold of Woman also has custom like spaces and kind of like, yeah, museums. So I think it's quite a good platform, and they've been integrating like a lot of new features, so they move fast, and yeah, it's very cool platform. I saw Artifact is, you know, developing like VRMs to use on Cyber, so yeah, that's gonna be cool to see. And also, I just want to shout at you because it's super cool to have like someone who's so deep into VR just joining us and sharing your experience. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, I'm gonna blame the Queen's English on this, but is it Gerry or Gerry?
Gerry. Right. Yeah, Gerry. Like Jerry Springer, Jerry Seinfeld. That's me.
Perfect. So my instinct was correct. That's good. Just in case somebody else had a question, I could have been the only one. Whatever.
I get it all the time. I've been called far worse, by the way. So Gerry, Jerry, it's all good to me.
Okay, right on. I was actually kind of just reminiscing, not reminiscing, but thinking, can you imagine when the dream is realized and some of us will be shit-stirring on here full time? Because that's part of the dream too, right? Is that some of us, especially the most dedicated ones, it could become a full-time fan. So just think about that, where we kind of get to sit here and just kind of, shoot the shit all day long. So I know some of you guys are already really good at this. So it's just kind of fun, I'm already having fun talking to y'all.
It is obviously very early, but the way that video blew up in the last 2 days is like super encouraging, that this platform hopefully builds out and becomes more sustainable. And it's just such a great chance for them now to attract more sponsorship and more revenue streams to really sort of build a solid platform to build from. So, but I completely agree. It's going to be wild if this truly does start getting big, and some people will be able to live off this. And I know Robin's looking to help support me. Nothing's been signed just yet, but he is, grateful for a lot of what the community's doing, and where he can, he's going to try and support people when the time's right, for sure.
Gerry, are you gonna hire Mongrel for the Dildo Dash? Who's gonna hire a pro gamer? Curb was sort of worried about that. So we've only got about a minute left, but I can give you a quick summary on what they're working at, just to give you guys a bit of context around the Dildo Dash game. They are very mindful of it being botted and cheated, but to be honest, there's almost no complete way around it, because if you have any economic incentive around something digital, someone will work out a way to exploit it. And even with like AAA games like Call of Duty and whatnot, people cheat in that all the time, and they're multi-billion-dollar platforms. So I don't think that they're going to be able to make this thing foolproof from cheating. So what they're going to probably do is basically time limit when you can do it. So you might only get an hour a day to get in there and do it, and it becomes a bit of a race between who has the most optimal workflow, someone who's actually trying to compete to finish it versus someone who's trying to reverse engineer it and cheat. So there's only so much they can do, unfortunately. But I don't know if there's going to be pro gamers in here. Believe me, they've made it incredibly difficult from the little practice I had last night. So hopefully it's only a matter of time before that drops, but it's they're waiting on a third party basically to implement stuff to help with the bots and whatnot. So we're pretty much right on an hour, guys. Did anyone have any closing thoughts they wanted to mention before we shut up shop? If anyone's keen to kick on, I'm sure a few of us will be in the Discord. Maybe even can get a voice chat happening there. It's a bit more relaxed if anyone wants to chat in that environment, perhaps.
I just want to thank Chaos for coming and joining us as our first guest speaker. I hope you stick around the Discord so we can pick your brain.
Thank you.
Sounds like we need
That's really.
We might need a thread that's just for you, Christina, to spread all of your knowledge about VR and the metaverse. It sounds like you've probably got the most experience out of anyone in the entire community by the sounds of it.
Oh, thank you. Nah, I bet there are also other social VR enthusiasts there. But still, thanks a million for having me. Like, I'm having like this big smile on my face now, because it's so good to find good communities.
I can't wait to hang out with you at your party on the 31st.
Oh, that would be lovely. But unless you need like a PC VR gear, so that mainly works on a gaming.
I have a Quest, unfortunately, but I think the Quest will work.
Then you need like a good graphics card to run it. You need like a gaming computer in the background. So that's that was like the catch, because at the moment you have like this broad spectrum of either you can make it work on like the standalone headsets, but then it has to work on like the telephone chip they're using. But then
I'll have to pick around and figure it out.
We had like, because we basically have like call with 5 different APIs, and so we needed to put up a lot of scripts, and that's why we went to Neos VR, which is like more of a high-end social VR platform. Still, alas, there's the catch that you need a gaming PC to steer it.
Oh, maybe we can do some streaming in the Discord with someone who's got a gaming PC. I don't have one yet. I will have one soon, but maybe we can get them to stream.
Might be able to get someone from the actual base team to join in and stream it. That'd be cool. Get someone in the Discord and get the community involved at that level. So thanks so much for joining us. We'll be here every week, so feel free to join us anytime you want to pop in and share your thoughts, because your knowledge is going to be invaluable with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, no doubt. So I might wrap things up there, guys, just to keep things short and sweet. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Sonny, for popping up and sharing your views. It was wonderful to hear your perspective. And I see one of our other mods, Snow, has joined us. So thanks for joining us towards the end there, mate. And thanks very much for joining, guys. And we'll be back at the same time next week. So cheers.
Awesome. Thanks a million.
Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!